standard for exactly what's going on. Hey, this is the year of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai turning up.
Yeah, you just want to.
Yeah.
God, we just keep on.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna go to.
That was. Gonna roll through chapter 12.
Yeah, we're rolling through chapter
Yes,
12 and 13. We're just gonna keep on going, keep
All
it
right.
going through the Spirit.
All right. This is gonna be chapter 12 of the Art of War series. It's gonna be called Attack by Fire. The Attack by Fire. Sun Tzu said, "There are 5 ways of attacking with fire. The first is to burn soldiers in their camp. The second is to burn stores. The third is to burn baggage trains. The fourth is to burn arsenals and magazines. The fifth is to hurl dropping fire amongst the enemy. In order to carry out an attack, we must have means available. The material for raising fire should always be kept in readiness. There is a proper season for making attacks with fire and special days for starting a conflagration. The proper season is when the weather is very dry. The special days are those when the moon is in the constellation of the sieve, the wall, the wing, or the crossbar. For these 4 are all the days of rising wind. In attacking with fire, one should be prepared to meet 5 possible developments. 1. When fire breaks out inside an enemy's camp, respond at once with an attack from without. 2. If there is an outbreak of fire, but the enemy soldiers remain quiet, bide your time and do not attack. 3. When the force of the flames has reached its height, follow it up with an attack, if that is practicable. If not, stay where you are. If it is possible to make an assault with fire from without, do not wait for it to break out within, but deliver your attack at a favorable moment. 5. When you start a fire, be to windward of it. Do not attack from leeward. A wind that rises in the daytime lasts long, but a night breeze soon falls. In every army, the 5 developments connected with fire must be known, the movements of the stars calculated, and a watch kept for the proper days. Hence those who use fire as an aid to attack show intelligence. Those who use water as an aid to the attack gain an accession of strength. By means of water, an enemy may be intercepted but not robbed of all his belongings." So, Ecclesiastes 3:1, Slaughter.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, and verse 1. And it reads, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven."
So, all I just read was talking about it's all about timing and waiting for that right opportunity. And right now, we're in a time of war. So, everyone's, it's that time of, it's the time where everyone's gearing up and prepping themselves.
Right, and before you go on, look how they, what they were trying to do with what their tactics were to, first, attack the supplies.
God.
What is this devil doing right now? He's pretty much drying everybody out. So they don't have that firepower to fight back once they really start to try to implement this new world order.
God, and on a scale here in America, they're depleting the resources. You got food, you can't buy. It's hard to find ammo. For those who have weaponry.
They're starting to prevent you from purchasing certain items.
God.
That they think may be able to be used against them.
Yeah.
They talked about it. Last year that they were gonna start coming for this book, the Bible. So they're trying to take anybody's weaponry away from them.
Yeah.
And this word is our protection.
God, it's the sword.
That spiritual sword. All right. It says, "Unhappy is the fate of one who tries to win his battles and succeed in his attacks without cultivating the spirit of enterprise. For the result is waste of time and general stagnation. Hence the saying, the enlightened ruler lays his plans well ahead. The good general cultivates his resources. Roughly paraphrasing, the Lord, thus saith the Lord, he declared the end from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was already preordained, predestinated.
Right. The end is manifest.
God.
So, Yahweh Shem Shai knows what's going to happen before it happens. Moving.
It's like, let me read. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 9. And it reads, "Remember the former things of old, for I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I am the power, and there is none like me." Verse 10, "Declaring the end from the beginning, and from the ancient times to the things that are not yet done." saying my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
Yeah.
That's the spirit. I was just highlighting that right now.
Right.
All right. So it says, move not unless you see an advantage. Use not your troops unless there is something to be gained. Fight not unless the position is critical. No ruler should put his troops into the field merely to gratify his own spleen. No general should fight a battle simply out of pique, and pique is another word for, hot-headedness or anger. If it is to your advantage, make a forward move. If not, stay where you are. Anger may in time change to gladness. Vexation may be succeeded by content. Proverbs 14 and chapter 14, verses 16 through 17.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, and verse 16. Is it 15?
Proverbs 14, chapter 14, verse 16.
Okay. Proverbs 14 and 16. A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident.
17.
He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated.
So, like I said, it says right here, no ruler should put troops in the field to merely gratify his own spleen. No general should fight a battle simply out of pique. So, basically that's saying, to be slow to anger, and, those who are slow to anger have much understanding. And so, you can't, don't be hasty.
Right.
John.
And it says, but a kingdom that has once been destroyed can never come again into being, nor can the.
You need a seat?
No,
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, it says, but a kingdom that has once been destroyed can never come again into being, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life. Hence, the enlightened ruler is heedful, and the good general is full of caution. This is the way to keep a country at peace and an army intact. Well, that's a lie, because every kingdom comes back. It's just built up in a different way to be better. That's through the act of reincarnation, because America is spiritually Babylon, Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah, and Rome, all of it over again.
Right, it might not be the exact same, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai has this play out for a reason.
And can you get Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9, just to prove the point?
This is Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. It says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
So, there is nothing new under the sun, because it's already been done over and over and over again. History has repeated itself. It's a cycle. All right. Now that was chapter 12. This is going to be the final chapter. This is chapter 13. It's going to be entitled "The Use of Spies." Sun Tzu said, "Raising a host of 100,000 men and marching them great distances entails heavy loss on the people and a drain on the resources of the state. The daily expenditure will amount to 1,000 ounces of silver. There will be commotion at home and abroad, and men will drop down exhausted on the highways. As many as 700,000 families will be impeded in their labor." That's talking about, gearing up for war, getting prepared, and it's also part of counting the cost. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? Because you're bringing people who have livelihoods, and you're putting them out there on the battlefield, leaving behind their family members, and to do all the labor at home. Hostile armies may face each other for years, striving for the victory which is decided in a single day. This being so, to remain in ignorance of the enemy's conditions, simply because one grudges the outlay of 100 ounces of silver in honors and emoluments, is the height of humanity. And that's talking about how how America is essentially, like it says, in a single day. America, aka Babylon, is going to be destroyed in an hour. In an hour. So, when those when those missiles start flying, those ICBMs, every place is going to get hit, but it's mainly going to be here in America.
Every place will get a lot of places will get hit. America will be destroyed to never be inhabited again. And Jerusalem will be hit, but it will be rebuilt again. It will be destroyed. All right, but that is the land of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans whose fathers' line go back. All right, so that land will replenish,
right.
Be replenished. All right, and come to its fullness.
It's definitely gonna get fucked up though.
Yes.
They probably gonna get it the second worst.
Right. God. Yep. Because the blood that defiles the ground only can be replenished by them who shed it.
So,
roughly paraphrasing scripture.
Those who will rebuild our land is going to be you devils and heathens.
So that their blood got to go into the land, to get, purged out again, through the fire.
God. That's exactly right.
One who acts thus is no leader of men, no present help to his sovereign, no master of victory. Thus, what enables the wise sovereign and the good general to strike and conquer and achieve things beyond the reach of ordinary men is foreknowledge. Isaiah 33:6.
This is the book of a little bit too far. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure."
So, how are we going to overcome these more perilous times that are right around the corner? We got to have the knowledge of these scripts, the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of Yahweh Shai. That's what's going to get us through.
I got my pad over there. Go ahead, Dr. Salaki.
That's what's going to get us. Just imagine all the perilous and horrible things that we're going to imagine and go through. Just imagine what kind of spirit it takes to go through that kind of stuff. It's going to be the hardest thing we've ever been through, seen and done. So that's why you have to have the truth to know, to understand and know that these things must come to pass.
Salaki.
How to act accordingly, when certain events pop up. That's why you got to be circumspect, as was talked about in the last chapter, or earlier in the lesson.
Now, this foreknowledge cannot be elicited from spirits. It cannot be obtained inductively from experience, nor by any deductive calculation. Knowledge of the enemy's dispositions can only be attained from men, when we all know that all knowledge and understanding comes from Yahweh Shem Shai, not from other men.
Right. And then the verse before that, Romans 15:4. These things were written for your aforetime for your learning. And that's for your experience. And then we go and get into reincarnation. So our previous lives, we already done this before.
Abarat Zawi be those men.
And one of you pull up that account for Rahab, for the converted spy I'm about to go into.
You know what it says?
So I think it's, I know it's in, like it says in Joshua.
I'm gonna say in 2.
Joshua 2 and 1. You said Jericho, so it's in Joshua. Alright, so it says here, knowledge of the enemy's dispositions can only be obtained from other men, hence the use of spies, of whom there are 5 classes. 1. Local spies.
It's in 3. Like,
It's in 3?
4. Or you can go start at 3 and then go to 4.
Okay, so local spies is 1. 2nd is inward spies. 3 is converted spies. 4 is doomed spies. 5 is surviving spies. When these 5 kinds of spy are all at work, no one can discover the secret system. This is called divine manipulation of the threads. It is the sovereign's most precious faculty. So, half the potter not power over the clay. Roughly paraphrasing, you can get Isaiah 64 and 8 real quick.
You could just start at 2.
I'll get the
2 and go 2 through 5.
Right.
You said Isaiah Salakia.
yeah.
You want me to read that now, or?
Go ahead.
You said Isaiah
64 and 8.
We'll read Joshua now, right? Now this is Joshua 2 and 2. It says, and it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered and into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said, thus there came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. Want to continue?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. And it came to pass about the time of the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went, I will not pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them.
So, Rahab was she was a harlot, right?
Right, she was a harlot.
And she asked them, that she received mercy for helping them.
Right.
So
she was that spy. She was a inside.
She was an insider.
Right.
She became a converted spy, and we're gonna get into that right here. But can you first get I found the script that's better for this. It's Romans 9:21.
Romans 9:21.
Yeah, Salakia.
Right, and that was the reason why she was a spy was because Yahweh Shem Shai put the spirit on her to have fear, of the Lord, because she heard of all the things, all the battles they were winning, the Israelites were winning.
Done. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump, to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
So, in layman's terms, the Creator has power over the creation, and a vessel to honor the Israelites and a vessel to dishonor the Edomites, so the righteous and the wicked. He controls the left-hand side, the wicked, which is the sword, and the right-hand side, which is the righteous side.
And the axe.
There you go.
A threshing instrument.
Alright, so going into the spies, having local spies means employing the services of the inhabitants of a district. Having inward spies is making use of officials of the enemy. having converted spies, getting a hold of the enemy's spies and using them for our own purposes, and that's
What she was, a converted spy.
mm,
You know? And like the brother said, that was through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
and when,
Because for the wondrous works and the things, the battles that have been won.
and, you know, she helped. She also helped those two men escape because they were being sought after. You know, after she pleaded, you know, that her and her family would have mercy, not to be destroyed. Having doomed spies doing certain things openly for purposes of deception, and allowing our spies to know of them and report them to the enemy. Surviving spies, finally, are those who bring back news from the enemy's camp. Hence, it is that which none in the whole army are more intimate relations to be maintained with the spies, none be more liberally rewarded, and no other business should greater secrecy be preserved. Spies cannot be usefully employed without a certain intuitive sagacity. They cannot be properly managed without benevolence and straightforwardness. Without subtle ingenuity of mind, one cannot make certain of the truth of their reports. Be subtle, and use your spies for every kind of business. If a secret piece of news is divulged by a spy before the time is ripe, he must be put to death together with the man to whom the secret was told. So, whether the object be to crush an army, to storm a city, or to assassinate an individual, it is always necessary to begin by finding out the names of the attendants, the aides de camp, and doorkeepers and sentries of the general in command. Our spies must be commissioned to ascertain these. So, Matthew 10 and 16.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and 16. It says, Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
So all of that goes into, you know, being wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. So it's basically, you know, planning your moves. And, you know, like in the beginning, like in one of the beginning chapters of this book, you know, Sun Tzu said that all warfare is based upon what? Deception. So we have to use the cunning of a serpent to maneuver and get through certain situations.
Right. Like, you know, just if they say, you know, that, oh, they're going to start arresting everybody prophesying on the street, you know, we're not going to go out on the street and start prophesying to prove a point.
Nope.
You know, there's certain things where you're going to, you know, have to use this knowledge to, you know, to survive through situations, you know.
Mm-hmm. All right. And it says, the enemy's spies who have come to spy on us must be sought out, tempted with bribes, led away and comfortably housed. Thus they will become converted spies and available for our services. Once again, Rahab. It is through the information brought by the converted spy that we are able to acquire and employ local and inward spies. It is owing to his information, again, that we can cause the doomed spy to carry false tidings to the enemy. Lastly, it is by his information that the surviving spy can be used on appointed occasions.
Salaki, I can't think of it right now, but it's not what Sun Tzu said, right? It was what Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said when he said, I have laid a snare for Edom, right? I have laid a snare for Edom, Babylon. I can't think of the script. It just slipped my mind. It's not Obadiah.
You said, I have laid a snare?
Yeah, I have laid a snare and trap for Edom.
Or is it Amos?
Is it Amos? Might be Amos. Salakia. It just popped in my head and I was trying to find that.
Would it be James 15:24? Jeremiah 15:24.
Go ahead and bring it out.
All right. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon,
Time.
and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh.
Perfect. That's Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's that deception that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai used righteously. Does he not control the left and the right? So Esau, Edom's pride, laid a snare for him. All right, he was taken by his own trap.
Right. The pride will be his downfall.
God.
All right, and
pride goes before destruction. Proverbs.
Right.
Can someone get Sirach 19 and 25?
In the book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 25, there is an exquisite subtlety, and the same is unjust, and there is one that turneth aside to make judgment appear. And there is a wise man that justifieth in judgment.
So there is beauty in subtlety, and subtlety is secrecy, and the same is unjust. And the ones that are unjust are the wicked, Esau, Edom. So through all his wicked devices and how he plans them out in the secrecy and darkness, there's beauty in that, because he thinks that no one else will find out what his true intentions and plans really are. But there's one who does know, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And he's unjust because he plots against the righteous. And the one who turneth away and make judgment appear, he tries to hide all his wickedness and iniquity. He tries to just pass it as water underneath the bridge, like it.
Right.
It don't matter. It'll be okay.
Yeah. And who's prophesying against Mount Seir? The prophets.
God.
We're blowing that trumpet and letting his unrighteousness and his his draconian measures be pulled to the front page of the news.
Oh.
And so how his wicked doctrine saying it's all about love, and yet you turn your back, he shoots you right in the back.
He'll shoot you in the face.
Saying that's all good, and next thing you know, and it's in the righteous and the wise man that justifieth in judgment, using righteousness and not to be. Let's talk about the elect, because the elect are going to get it. They're going to get this wisdom and understanding, and they're going to be justified, and they'll be counted blameless.
God, and because they walk circumspectly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Never trust thy enemy. For as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness.
Right.
In Proverbs chapter 3, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. That's verse 5, I believe. So that's what the elect are going to do. And Lord, when we're of that number. And it says, of old, the rise of the Yin dynasty. The end. Okay, sorry. The end and aim of spying in all its 5 varieties is knowledge of the enemy. And this knowledge can only be derived in the first instance from the converted spy. Hence, it is essential that the converted spy be treated with utmost liberality. Of old, the rise of the Yin dynasty was due to the first Qi who had served under the Xia. Likewise, the rise of the Chou dynasty was due to Luya who had served under the Yin. Hence, it is the only enlightened ruler and the wise general, Yahweh being the enlightened ruler, and the wise general being Yahweh Shai, who will use the highest intelligence of the army for purposes of spying, and thereby they achieve great results.
Mm-hmm.
Spies are a most important element in water, because on them depends an army's ability to move.
Right.
Huh.
You could liken the spies to the prophets,
God.
because that's who's those are the messengers, that, and converted spy, is like after you wake up into the truth, you're changed, you're converted.
God. And then as well as you got those who turned on their own countrymen.
Right. And you could even say, one of the other spies is, the people inside. You got people in your camp.
God. Hey, and then also, Smoggy, go ahead.
You got people in your camp that are really, still on Team Esau.
God.
They're still really on this devil's side.
God. Hey, and then you got the other spy. I think it was 5 levels of spies.
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna go back over.
So you also Yahweh Shimi Al Shai is just beautiful. His heritage as a speckled bird.
Right.
When spirit bear witness. All right. So if the spirits bear witness and a so-called white man or so-called Asian man whose father's line goes back, all right, here's this word and it changes them. If they have a high level paying job or in a certain area or whatever, that's how stuff gets released. That's right. Advantages.
Essentially.
He
has, the publicity or the status, the status to do those or access things that, we can't even obtain.
Con.
That's why a lot of the, even though it says that they shall fall upon their own tongue, a lot of those people, releasing that information are jaded. I would say more of them than not.
Okay.
Them falling upon their own tongue is more of them, slipping up.
Now, this is circumspect. We're just speaking as men. We're just speaking as men, but,
We're not spies or nothing.
God. But, yeah, that's
that was the end of the final chapter of the Art of War series. So, yeah. So, this book, if you look at it from a spiritual standpoint, this is basically what Yahweh Shimi Shai is doing right now, the art of war. Setting up plans, making work certain ways, having certain people do this and that, and exposing the enemy. And, through their own pride, he just, he have laid that snare. So, very good book, and, it brings the scripts, it brings out the scripts. So, I hope that this lesson, that the last 3, chapter 11, 12, and 13 were edifying. you got anything else?
Nope, we're good.
All right, so let me give all glory, honor, and praise unto
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rechak Kodash.
We'd like to give double honors and respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all the fellow Akim out that are preaching and teaching with 144% truth and sincerity, and to the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and to the Bayash and Davidad, the house of David that is scattered abroad, we give you our utmost and sincere salutations. This is Men of Valor Las Vegas Camp. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.
Secret.